All right, here we go. Here is Felger Mazz with Malcolm Butler.
Why didn't you play?
It was just a coach's decision.
So, how often do you get asked that?
I'm 1, 2, 3, 3 times a day.
Isn't that like the first thing they ask?
Yeah, no. They tell me about the catch, and then they ask that, and then I tell them the same thing I just told y'all.
Do people ask you more about the interception or more about the Eagles game?
The interception.
They do.
Yep.
I'm sure you've heard the theories. I'm sure you've heard the rumors and like stories of this and stories of that. You ever feel like coming out on record and saying that one isn't true? That's not what happened.
So tell me what you thought that happened, or what you heard.
You got in a wrestling match with Steve Belichick.
Wrestling match? That ain't even a match. You got one?
Well, that was one of them. Some of them had to do with there were parties that week leading up to the game, and there was a picture of you at one of the parties or something, and Bill got annoyed about that.
Again, related to Steve.
Yeah.
No, I think a ring.
What are they referring to? He did something with someone Steve likes or something like that.
At a party, pictures of Malcolm Butler at a party that was attended by, I think, some coaches' wives and some other people that he was hanging out at, and that they didn't like that. They didn't like that he was out at a party. They didn't like that.
Was he like the rumors he was canoodling? This is just a rumor.
Yeah, and like nothing really nefarious or scandalous, but just out socializing.
Well, it would have to be pretty nefarious if they were going to bench him for the Super Bowl. They would. The implication. Yeah. I think I might have even heard this. It is most likely not true. But I remember. The implication is that he slept with Steve Belichick's wife.
Okay, I didn't hear it went that far, but maybe some like flirtatious behavior.
Still, I mean, how do you quantify that? Like, that's not something that can be quantified. Like you were at a party and he was being flirtatious, unless he said something like propositioned her or something. And then still, I wouldn't bench him for the Super Bowl. Like, you'd have to do a lot. Like, you'd have to.
Yeah, you could cut him after the season if you're really pissed, but you got to play to win here.
Well, I mean, if he banged your son's wife, I mean, I could see benching him. But if he was like flirting with your son's wife, I could see being like, well, I don't want to deal with this guy again. But again, these are just the rumors in the air. I haven't heard that from anyone or read it anywhere. Those are just the rumors in the air that they're probably referring to.
No, I think a ring is more important than a party. I can do that for the rest of my life. Actually, I did it last night. I ain't seen none of them photos. But, like, we are a grown man. We do got a time to be at work and then a time to not to be messing off. So, yeah, you can try another one.
When did you find out? Do you remember? During the week or before the game? When did you find out?
Somebody, you got Universal North Carolina number? Because y'all most definitely can call him. Call and ask him.
He seems to be getting
even
closer.
now. Even what's the harm of telling everyone when he found out? Even now, he won't do it.
So when people are saying things and speculating about you publicly and it's not true, it is so hard not. And this is at such a bigger level than anything I've ever experienced by millions. But like if something's written about you and you're like, well, that's just not true.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating, and like your first instinct is just to do it. But maybe as time passes, it doesn't matter as much.
Exactly.
I do wonder why he won't say it. Well, he's not going to say it in Felger and Mazz if he's going to say it, right? Like, I love the way they asked it, and I love the way he handled it. Like, you ask me specific things, and then I mean, he didn't deny being at a party.
He did. No, he said, and that was, to me, kind of interesting, where he said, I can go to a party whenever I want. A ring is more important. Now,
but then
I'm a grown man, and I can go out when I want to.
There's a time to work and there's a time to play. Yeah.
But they're allowed to go out during Super Bowl week.
Up until, like, Thursday or Friday, yeah.
Sure. And, Thursday or Friday. You know the story of the night before the Super Bowl that player from Oakland.
Eugene Robinson, right?
No. That was a hooker
Atlanta
thing.
Safety?
No. This is a more innocent story. Dr. Z's out in New Orleans, and the big, tall, bearded guy that was in movies.
Alzado.
No.
Matuzak
was out, and Dr. Z spent like 2 hours with him at this bar the night before the Super Bowl. Raiders win. Dr. Z goes into the locker room. He goes into Matuzak, and he's like, he's like, oh man, I'm surprised you played that well after last night. And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, dude, I was with you last night for 2 hours. He goes, what? You were? He was blacked out drunk the night before the Super Bowl. But that was the Oakland Raiders. That was how the Oakland Raiders operated.
Real quick, as I remember it, Malcolm Butler was sick and flew down after the team. It was like a day later. And the rumor was at the time, he didn't look good in practice.
Right.
And so Belichick made that decision, okay, he wasn't going to play.
And then after you're getting torched and it's halftime, and there are reports that players actually said, like, can we get him in there? We're getting killed. And I would argue it did cost you the Super Bowl. You needed one stop.
It's certainly
one stop.
Yeah, it's certainly something that you could, that you could just try. I mean, he played a couple plays. Well, he was on a special teams play.
I think it was one play.
Okay, so he played on the special teams for one play. Like, he played in the game. And you know Bill in special teams during the Super Bowl, he's not going to play someone who was sick that he wasn't going to play because they were physically unable to play. I mean, he put Gronkowski out there to break his arm on an extra point.
Part of the argument was, okay, he didn't look good because he was sick, but the other part of it was he was screwing off during drills and things like that. That was the rumor at the time.
But why would he pick Super Bowl week to start screwing off during drills? All right, real quick, James, go ahead.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Hey, what's up, James?
Hey, I was just, it came to me while you guys were talking that it's possible that Malcolm Butler and the Patriots and Bill Belichick have a non-disclosure agreement, and it tied into that second contract because he was pretty much done with football. They brought him back even after all of this nonsense and costing them the Super Bowl. So I'm wondering if maybe a non-disclosure, and that's why he doesn't say anything, Belichick doesn't say anything, and I agree, it's never going to be in that book.
The idea is that when he got that last contract from the Patriots, it was basically to pay him off to sign the NDA.
Yep.
Is that makes sense.
I asked him about it a couple of years ago in a roundabout way. Did you feel like that maybe that was like a peace offering? They brought you back because they did you dirty in the Super Bowl, and even if you weren't going to make the team, here's some money for showing up to camp. And he's like, yeah, I think there's something to that.
But can they? I don't know if the Players Association would let you sign an NDA based on something that happened with a coach, like football related. Maybe they did it without the Players Association's knowledge. Who knows? But I don't think the Players Association would want to get in the habit of having players signing NDAs. Or teams would want to get into the habit of players signing NDAs.
The NDA sounds like a stretch. But the notion that they brought him back and gave him some money for a couple weeks of camp when they had no intention of keeping him, and he knew he probably wasn't going to make the team as a, hey, sorry about that, but are we cool? Yeah, give me $250,000 and we're cool.
Yeah, but $250,000 you get me for about 4 years, and then I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm thinking if someone offers Malcolm Butler the right amount of money, I don't know what that amount is. He'll say something.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.